that was interesting. All right, hope you guys can hear me. I obviously didn't get WD-40 for this stupid chair. I forgot. But yeah, we're having one heck of a storm, thunder and lightning, so it's a little nutso, just for the record. So we're going to be careful. But good morning, everybody. We've got fun today. And people are starting to get here. So that's good. So, yeah, hopefully this works and we don't have any issues because it's pretty dark outside. Like, it's crazy. So we'll see. See if this does anything. Probably gonna put a little bit of oil on the floor, but we'll see. Student is dragging down, so she should be here shortly. So that's gonna be fun. We are trying low latency to see if that's actually gonna help a little bit. And we've got Herknunger going on in the background as always. So there we are. It's also Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. To any fathers out there, or anybody who is the father, whether they're not the father and their mother, and they're being the father anyway, right? So, congratulations for that too, and happy Father's Day. This is my first Father's Day without my dad, having passed away earlier this year, and so kind of gave me a little bit of the idea for the discussion that I wanted to have. So we'll do that, have that discussion, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah. If you have any difficulty or trouble with the stuff here, let me know because it's pretty interesting. But I hope everybody's been having a good week. I know we had a couple weeks where we're not there, or not here actually, I should say, not there, because of some UU stuff we were doing, which, you know, is, to me, I cannot get this to work, with my injured finger. Y'all ready for the pop? It's gonna happen. Oh, that was a rough one. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll have a little bit of participation today. So yeah, I'm excited to get all this going, and we'll have video on in 9 minutes, so we will definitely have that prepped. Rook is not here today. I'm so sorry, but Rook is gone for the day. He actually did go to UU. He promised to help out as an usher today, so he did that and is doing that. So, you know, that's I'm excited about. That makes me happy. So we're doing okay on stream analytics, so I said, we'll just get these final touches set up and see where we go from there. I'm really hoping this low latency will help a little bit, because we've been having so much trouble with the delays, in general. So, if you can do me a favor, if you're hopping in, feel free to share the stream on anywhere you want to or can. So yeah. Joy, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. We're giving it just a few minutes. Rook is at UU being an usher. So I am here by myself today. Well, no, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm without Rook today, but Dragon Dancer will be with us just shortly. Our live time is 11 o'clock, so that's when the video will start. I just tend to turn on the audio and get the connection going a little bit early, so that we can make sure everything's working. But glad you stopped in. It's always great here. I know you said your brother is in town, so also very exciting. Uh-oh. Sorry about the dogs. Come on in. I'll put the other ones in the back. How's it going? I love the shirt and the sleeves. And I laugh all seeing the topic because I already dressed. Yeah. I was like, mine are all dirty because I wore them all this past week when I do laundry. So, feel free to set down anything you want anywhere you want.
I say where you're going to sit, because I'll put the snacks here and here so you have them.
Doesn't go lot for him yet. Well, hopefully the weather will light up a little bit. Yeah, but Brad was doing the ushership.
Chihuahua.
Yes, Iris. Sorry about Tina. She'll come down in a moment.
We have a house full of critters. We know how it is.
Yeah, I have Finn in the back with Moppy. As Finn has become a really bad darter. Like but when he gets out, it's straight shot. We found him on the other side of the canal. We found him back here. So, did you want champagne, by the way?
I will have a glass.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the bathroom before we start.
Please do. We are live, but we're not videoing. He can come in. How's it going? It was a dark day. They will calm down, I promise. I know Joy is the only one hanging out in the chat at the moment, so I know she knows what's going on at the house. VG, you can hush now. And of course they're barking every time it thunders.
Yeah.
So they're nuts.
Did you know that I finally got my dream cat?
I did.
What?
It was a Sphinx, right?
Yep, Sphinx cat.
Yes, I saw that.
I named it Geodash.
That's a cute name. You want to call him Geo for short?
Probably Dash.
Dash.
Crazy. Yeah, we got a rainbow color too, so.
All right. Oh. And we've got to get me and Brad have to get with Lynn and get that table because we were getting a regular table, so people can actually sit at it, and I don't have to keep moving the camera every 5 seconds.
Pull up a seat somewhere.
Yeah, I have plenty of chairs. I actually meant to bring one in and forgot. It's hard as a brick, but.
Here, let me get down to your level. Oh, I fluffed the pump. Oh, I fluffed the pump.
I had to WD-40 mine this morning to finally get rid of that noise.
Boop.
Yeah.
Oof. And just so you know, like the camera does get all the way across.
Yeah.
I don't know if you care.
You're gonna be on camera.
Oh no, not here.
Yeah. Alrighty. I don't think I've seen it this dark outside at 11 o'clock since I've been down here.
Occasionally.
Like recently, like this
Yeah.
year, maybe this is, I don't know. I mean, I've seen it get dark and then lighten back up, but this is dark.
Tornado warnings too.
I didn't see that. Paige.
KJ.
Make sure I have everything set right.
By the way, guess how many cats we have?
I only know of one.
Oh no.
Melissa, hello. What up? That is my sister. That's kind of where the whole topic came out too, where I added the parent thing is because this is the first Father's Day we have after my dad passed.
Oh, hush.
Yes, please.
Upper.
Hush.
I say we're about to start. When you go, say.
Oh yeah, by the way, we have 5 cats.
Well, I only know about the one.
Well, we already
Dash.
had the other two.
Oh, that's right.
And then
I knew that.
I adopted two from the
I knew that you
shelter.
had the two.
My one-eyed cat.
Oh. I've been watching a lot of videos about cats and dogs with like malformities and stuff that people have kept. They're so cute.
We adopted the one-eyed cat and her brother from the shelter. And then somebody gave us Sphinx cat. $4,000 cat.
That is a, yeah. And is it a he?
It's a she.
She's cute.
She's so sweet.
Very jealous.
She's so sweet.
And I don't think they're usually sweet, are they? Aren't they
No,
usually
they
kind
are.
of? Are they? I don't know. I've never had them.
They're really sweet cats. They
Yeah.
like people.
Siamese that were fine, but
And see, they're usually the jerks.
She's a shoulder
I know.
cat.
That's why I was assuming they were kind of similar, but I guess not.
No, they like people. Yeah, she's a shoulder cat.
That's so Finn is. Oh, I hate having Finn locked up, but he gets out so fast now. Like you can't even see him. He's gotten out on us. But I'll turn the video on in just a second. I'm gonna light my stuff here, but yes, Joy, we're already getting some big lightning. We haven't been having it since 4 o'clock this morning when I woke up.
Oh, it woke me up. Shaking the damn house at like
It's
4 in
been
the morning.
crazy, yeah. It better be gone by tomorrow.
Oh, you probably gotta fly.
Uh huh.
嗯
11 o'clock
Ick.
to Philadelphia.
Ick.
Very ick. Last week was ickier though.
They don't even have good cream cheese.
No. That's important.
Just, I make it a rule of thumb. When I go to a place, don't get what they're famous for.
That's true.
If you go to Boston, don't get the cream pies.
Get the tea.
You get the tea. You go to Waffle House, don't
you
get waffles.
Do you get Long Island iced tea from Long Island?
Nope.
Probably not.
I don't think if I've ever been to Long Island.
BG, you have to be hushy. Hey, Max is the Mikey.
No,
I guess we should get started. I'm trying a new low latency thing
Ooh.
Hopefully the internet doesn't go down, the power
Hopefully.
doesn't go out. So, that's a good one. Oops, I meant to turn that off. Oh wait, I meant the wrong button. I've done this before, I promise. You can see how dark it is. We actually have lights on, like, more than normal. This actually feels kind of cool. It's a little dungeony.
Dungeons are fun.
Yeah, every week we've done this, it's been so bright outside, we've never even needed a light. So it's kind of nice because now you can see the rainbow lights behind. But yeah, so obviously, Dragon Dancer is not Rook.
Hi.
Do you use your name, like your regular name on?
I use Furry Rage.
Okay,
or
use
Squeaky
that.
Silence.
What was it, Furry Squirrel or something? I don't know what I said.
Furry Rage.
Furry Rage. Yeah, because I don't want to, put anybody's information out without permission. But obviously, Rook's not here. He's ushering at the UU, so good for him. But yeah, so we've got a couple of topics today. I think we'll start like we always do, with books and stuff, because I've been reading a lot.
Me too.
A lot. It's been nice. Hated being in DC though. That sucked. But I did get a lot of reading in.
I was in DC once, and it was not wonderful.
I've been there a lot because of work, but this was different. This was
I drove around DC once.
It is
was
the
way too people-y.
It is
worst
very people either.
It is the worst. What's interesting is I went on a walk. I walked to DuPont Circle and back from the hotel, and everybody was super friendly, even the homeless and the people shooting up in the corner. But driving, it took almost 2 hours to get 3 miles because I kept getting lost. I kept saying, get on the route. And then when I get on the route, it's like, that's not the route. But yeah, like this is interesting. So topic today is going to be, I wanted to talk a little bit about Pride, obviously. We are more than halfway through Pride Month now. And I wanted to talk, I've been watching a lot of videos this morning, I want to talk a little bit about it. Parenting, especially from a Pride perspective, and then throwing in the people in the pagan part, because it's Father's Day, so the lightning's making me nervous. And it's raining really hard on the other side over there, it's coming.
Yes, we drove through it on the way here.
Well, we lose power when the wind just kind of, our substation is right over there, and it just pops out every time, because of course, it's a field. And so it's like lightning rod, but glad to see Joy. Thanks for stopping in, Melissa. I don't know if this is your first time in here, but that is my sister. We're all weird, so she fits right in. But reading, so I don't read a lot of fiction, but recently I've been kind of stuck on reading The Expanse. It's apparently I'm told, I don't know this, I haven't seen it, I haven't even looked it up, but it's a series on Netflix or one of those. And it's very, it's like they're set in, we've colonized part of Mars and Jupiter's moons and super fantasy out there, and then all this really weird alien stuff starts happening and blah blah blah. But one of the things that it's done really neat is it thrusts you into the middle of these characters who have really hidden pasts, and like a good novelist, it goes back and kind of gives you short stories in between to tell you about those individuals and who they were, where they came from. But they make you form your opinion of them first. So there's a character in the one I'm reading now. I think I'm in the 4th or 5th one. And I just saw him as kind of like a douchey guy. He's just a jerk. But then when you read the short story about where he came from and where he is, it's like, oh my God, I had a really bad opinion. And it reminded me how beneficial fiction is to using your imagination, to learning new ideas, to opening your mind, being to all that stuff. I forgot about that because I only read nonfiction.
I have not been able to read fiction lately. Like, I've tried, and my brain just is like, nope, you're going to learn the things. You're not going to read the fake things. You're going to learn the things.
Did you before? Like, was that a big thing for you previously, or has it always been? Because me, it's never been fiction. Like, I've
been really big into fiction before. Like, if you go into my library room, a good chunk of the shelves in there are all fiction. But lately, it's like, no.
There's another purpose for you.
Audiobook.
But yeah, I mean, I'm actually reading like 3 or 4 books at a time now, so that's been helpful. Like one like textbook style book, one nonfiction, and one the whatchamacallit, fiction. But it's interesting to remember how important it is to talk to your friends. How important it is in that whole thing you know, to allow yourself to have imagination and go into stuff. I forgot what nonfiction book I'm reading. Oh, I'm finishing Man and His Symbols for the second time. That is a long read.
I started it. I haven't gotten too far.
I forgot how long it is because they have so many words tiny on that damn page. If you get the little...
That's what I got.
Oh, it's a pain to read. That's one you really need to get a Kindle for just for that.
I've gotten, I think, like 2 chapters into that one so far.
One of the things that's really cool about it is as you go through it, you'll see like little hints. And it's not written just by him. Like it's him and some other people that write different chapters. And you'll see the references to like occult stuff and pagan stuff really well. And it's nice to see like he's like, well, that's... You can tell he doesn't believe that. Like he's kind of clear. It's like it's psychology. Like, well, they disagree on that, but there's so many analogs. It's a really neat book. I'm still reading the Empowerment Manual, and that one's kind of hard because it's a lot of exercises. And so I'm reading the exercises so that I understand them, and I'm trying to pick them out for the groups.
Yeah, but we can't do it without the
Yeah. So it feels weird to kind of advance without doing the work of it because I'm not used to that. And then I'm going to start some... Like what is it, the Fifth Element, or not the Fifth Element, like the movie show Fifth Element, but like the 5 elements of knowledge or something, I don't even remember, but that's next on the list. But, let's see, I just saw a vehicle come by, and I didn't see it go past there, but I found it by. I've had 3 cups of coffee, that's the other problem today. I usually have 1. So I'm literally bouncing off the walls.
I haven't had any coffee because I don't drink it.
I've had 3 cups of coffee, and a Monster. But I do sugar-free Monster.
Are you trying to have like a heart attack or a stroke?
Do you know what's funny? Like with the sugar-free Monster, I don't get the fluttery stuff like I did with drinking 5 cups of coffee. Or soda, even. And I'm wondering if it's because it's a different fake sugar.
Could be.
It's erythritol, which is generally a lot less problematic than like aspartame and all that stuff. I don't know. But anyway. I don't even know, do you read? Like, do you like to read stuff?
I do audiobook.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What kind?
I actually like Star Wars and Rick Riordan.
I don't know Rick Riordan.
He does Percy Jackson and Magnus Chase books.
They're like young adult, but they're freaking amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I have tons of them.
They're like
one of our favorite reads.
a redo of the Greek and Norse mythology, and he's got an Egyptian series too. It's
Yeah,
really good.
What was it, Red Pyramid or something like that?
Yeah, the Egyptian one was the least favorite of the series, but they're still pretty decent.
I'm gonna have to get that off of you, that name later, so I can look it up.
Yeah, I really recommend Magnus Chase because it's the Norse stuff and it's like very inclusive.
It's actually hilarious because he dies in the beginning of the book.
Oh. So, are they fiction, non-fiction, a blend, like one of those?
They're fiction, but they're like
based
a
off
modern
of their ideas.
Yeah, they're like a modern retelling of the mythology from the
Okay.
Greek and Norse and Egyptian perspective.
Oh, I like that.
And they're really cool.
Yeah, in the Rick Riordan version of Valhalla, it's a giant hotel.
That would be a lot of fun to read. For
Have
sure.
them all if you want to borrow them.
And,
Yeah, that is definitely something I would read.
and again, it's a good book because it's also inclusive. One of his characters is truly gender fluid. Because they're one of the children of Loki, so they can actually change
That makes sense.
gender physically as well as mentally or spiritually.
Some no 8-legged horses.
Oh, there's 8-legged horses.
There's 8-legged horses.
Okay, good. As long as it has that, I'm good. That is funny. I'd like to read some of that stuff because it's always interesting to see how somebody retells a story like in the modern times, and it still has the same like purpose and meaning out of it. You know? So, and I'm sorry I didn't offer you any champagne if you want some.
Yeah, I gotta drive.
I
I
figure.
generally won't drink when he's driving.
What?
What?
I'm petting you. What do you want?
Pay attention to me. I'm scared.
She does that to Brad for hours. As soon as you stop, she yells at you because she's not getting pet. She's a little bit of a bitch. To be
Let's
honest.
see. I've been reading the Man and His Symbols, which I started. The Poison Prescriptions, which is another baneful herb book. I haven't gotten too far into that one. And then I've been reading Discovering the Inner Mother, which is like a whole psychology-based book on the mother wound and reparenting yourself and all sorts of stuff.
Oh.
About halfway through that one. That one is amazing.
That's different. Is it like Jungian style, the whole mother complex and the electric complex stuff, or is it?
It hasn't gone into like the electric complex yet, but it goes into like all the archetypes of the mother, the 10 different ones, and how you relate to them, and how you were brought up, and
the Jungian Tarot's Major Arcana is amazing with that. The archetypes and stuff is very cool. It's fun.
And then, of course, I've been watching lots of weird YouTube videos about, quantum physics and things of that nature.
Definitely been doing that too.
I've mostly been playing my new video game,
Which one?
Rust.
Rust?
Yeah, the one I've been telling you I've wanted to play for years.
Yeah?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's for PS4.
Yeah, my brother gave us a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It doesn't cross with PC, but it does cross with
Ooh.
Xbox.
Hold on. That sucks. They all should be cross-platform. I know quite a few people that really enjoy Rust.
Well, the problem is the console version doesn't have all the same features as the PC version. Console version's catching up to PC.
It needs to.
Yeah. Apparently, we should be getting horses in the game soon.
Okay. I played Rust a little bit way back, and just it's been a while on PC, and I just everybody that I was playing with was playing something else, so we played that instead, and then I got hooked in Ark. And now we've been playing Sons of the Forest, which is like the previous game, The Forest, she is not going to let up, was really good, and so we played this one, and it's like we thought it was going to be good, and it is good, but it's like the exact same thing. Like, they didn't really change it enough to make it
a new game.
Yeah, it's not
just
really
like
a new game.
Continuation.
It's just like a restart. But-
We love you. You're good.
So, hey Tabby, sorry I didn't see you hop in. Good morning. Okay, it's sticking to my finger now. A little bit of dragon's blood. This is my favorite one too.
I should have brought my new dragon to show you.
Oh. So, I want to spend a few minutes talking about pride. And something that somebody had made a point that I found very interesting. I found it this morning, and I don't know that I can remember it properly. But it went along the lines of, there are a lot of people ask about why we have pride. Okay. It's really dark in here. The incense stuck to my hand. But they said, be happy that you don't have to have a pride. It's not about being, shoving it in anybody's face. It's about, making sure that we have a safe place, and then, place for people to go and to outreach. And then that expectation of, well, then why has it turned into what it's turned into, and it's hypersexualized, which is true in many cases. It is. But even in last week's UU service, we talked about Stonewall a little bit. That was the poem that Brad read. Hello, Miss Chen. Rook is ushering at the church, UU, so he won't be here. The congregation, I should say. I've got hiccups. It's been a fun morning. Woke up sick to my stomach, but that's because I ate Taco Bell at 11 o'clock last night and then went to sleep within 5 minutes.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So I can't blame anybody for that. But anyway, back to my point with pride, and there's this whole thing about pride started as a riot, as many things do, and nobody knows for sure apparently who threw the first stone, but there's lots of people that probably did, and it doesn't matter at this point. What matters is that it was thrown, and that pride did start as a march, and I've always thought of, or a riot, a coup of sorts, and I've always thought of it as, it's hypersexualized in some cases. But sometimes when something is pushed so far to one side, marginalized, its rebound is much bigger than its place. That's still going. We have connection back. Alright. Oh wow, there's another really good one. The lightning.
Ah, yes.
Alright, I think we're back on. I believe we're back, and if we're not, we'll speak out into space for the rest of the day. I'm fine with that. Nothing like putting the energy out there. This is a beautiful storm, though.
It is.
This is nice.
I had some nice, epic Latin chanting going on my headphones on the way here with the lightning and the thunder.
That's not a bad idea. We need to do that later. And if the lightning stops, the pool will be good.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything because of the storms.
Wow.
But that's okay.
So it looks like to us, or to me, that it's back up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you guys can hear us again, and not everybody jumped out. But we are back. It was talking about pride and how the whole like rebound pride thing, where part of that is to me why things are the way they are is we rebounded a little too hard and are still in there because just when we thought we were making progress, it gets yucked back up, and we're not making progress again. Or we're making regress. I don't know how else to say it. But it's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. What? I see you.
So, yeah, for me, pride was really important. Even though I didn't go, like I maybe went once or twice in my young adulthood. I didn't go very often. It was too many people for me. But knowing that it existed made me feel more comfortable that something was occurring that I could be a part of if I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge to me as a kid, a young adult. And I think it's even more important now. But
Especially depending on what area of the country you're in.
very much so, especially down in Florida.
Florida, Texas being two of the worst.
And it's right now the big thing or the big topic for me is the LGB.
Legitimatequa.
Yeah, well, legitimatequa, really the legiba. The first two letters are the ones that it's still trouble, still issues we gotta work through, but it's a little bit safer for us, I think, in just the LGB part.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the
and all the
Taqua.
other- Yeah, Taqua.
The Taqua is a problem, and it's very frustrating to see when people are talking about transgenderism or binary or non-binary or gender fluid and all these things, and people get so frustrated. Well, it's not. What does it matter? If you feel that way, that's great. But number one, scientifically, it's wrong. But
very wrong.
Whatever. Ignore that. When it comes down to it, we are, no matter who you are, where you are, we are all part of the same thing and the same people. So it just doesn't matter and shouldn't matter to me. If I don't know, when I was 12 years old and 13, sure, I wasn't able to make decisions for my entire life, right? Like, life decisions, but I knew who I was. And the only reason that I would make bad decisions based on that is because of the people around me. Right? Mm-hmm. So, that's a problem. We revere the two-spirited in the Native American cultures. Why is it so hard for humans to say, you know what, if you feel like a girl and you were born with a penis, who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Okay.
Doesn't affect
Does that make you happy?
anybody
Sweet.
but you.
Yeah. And I just don't understand that whole mindset of it's having to be right. Mm-hmm. When you're in a place where you're not comfortable with who you are, you have to be right with, it's the mister. For the chameleon. I did that too for the first couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating that people get so upset. I mean, I've said before, I don't understand transgender.
But you don't have
because
to.
I'm not.
It doesn't matter.
Right. I don't need to be a good person, and I don't have to tell you you're right or wrong. That's not my role to say. And you know what? People say everybody has their own opinion. If your opinion is to be a dick, that's really not an opinion. That's a choice to be a dick, and that's just not okay.
And if your opinion is that a whole group of people shouldn't exist because you don't like them, then you're just a dick.
Yeah.
Like,
at least say it if that's what you think.
Right.
Instead of this other crap. It's not natural.
But it is. Look at the natural world everywhere.
Well, here's the thing. We are natural.
Mm-hmm.
If we have higher cognitive function, if we so choose to do the things that we do, then I think that that's a decision and evidence of being nature itself anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That has always been frustrating to me.
And look at history. It's not like it's new. That's the other thing. Oh, this new stuff in the last 20 years. I'm like,
oh yeah.
You mean 20,000 years? Because no.
Like I can literally see obviously there were smaller groups. They say had a clan of 15 people, And they had the next generation, and they went off to form their clan. Back in my day, we started fires with sticks and ass hairs. We had it worse. It's always the same thing.
Well, you get that a lot in the pagan community too. Though you have to do it the traditional way. And I'm like,
Ugh.
nope, I'm gonna use my herb grinder. My mortar and pestil's fun, but I ain't got time for that crap right now.
Heck yeah. I like using it when I'm not trying to get to certain things, but I think we have like 10 different grinders that we use.
You know,
Hell, if I'm sitting here doing peppercorns hand by hand. But yeah, it's the same stuff. It's no matter what you. It's not live and let live either, because we're not live and let live beings. We are communal, tribal beings, and it's not as simple as just saying let people live their lives, even though you should. It's celebrating their differences in their lives to me too. Like,
well, the thing is, if you can't celebrate it, just leave them alone.
that too.
They have their own communities. You can go be with your community and
Yeah.
just leave them alone.
I think what gets me on that part is just it's a conscious decision to say there's only two genders. What good does that serve you? How has that made you a better person? Has that made
Right.
you feel more confident in who you are? Because it's you're like there's only two genders, which there is not only two genders, by the way. Gender is truly a social construct. It has nothing to do with biology. So I love biological genders. No such thing. It does not exist.
Biological sex exists, but
Yeah.
not gender.
Yeah.
I like the ones that try to use the Bible, and it's like, okay, but the Jewish Talmud, which the Bible is based on, has, was it 6 or 8 genders listed
yeah.
in it? It's like, so you're wrong, even on that front.
Yeah. And there were genders that were often specific in it. The sexual part came afterwards, from what I've been told or taught. And I'm not an expert by any means, but if you read, and I don't know about that either. But in a couple of things that I've read, kind of talking about it, I think what's the guy's name? Matthew. Oh God, he's really well known. Christian, gay guy, married, super awesome, like Bible, really
Not sure.
critique. He's very good at explaining some things, but the conversation goes into the genders being related to almost jobs and positions and descriptions.
Generally.
And then they removed, when Christianity got involved, they made it about the eunuchs and having to be more feminine to touch the spirit and all that kind of stuff. And that's when it became about biological sex, which,
Yep.
yeah. I can talk for hours on that.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't believe that you have to sacrifice stuff to become a better person either, unless you're sacrificing your own stupid ways. That I believe in.
And it can be done. It can be.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the pride story for me is we need pride because we still don't have all the same rights and aren't treated, and especially transgendered people are dying at a rate exponentially higher, trans people of color actually, even significantly higher, when in reality none of this should matter.
No.
Nope. It doesn't matter because every person that's different than you or whatever is literally going through the same shit, different pants.
And what's in the pants doesn't matter.
And,
No.
and like I always say, it has nothing to do with me. Personally, it doesn't affect my life what somebody else does. As long as they don't affect my life with it, I don't care.
And sorry guys, I had a hiccup on my side. It's back together, but I do see you all in there. Hi, Unexplained. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, okay. And Tabby, hi. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. But
My stuff restarted over here and it freaked me out.
yeah, the internet went out.
Thought it was going again.
But yeah, I mean, what two consenting adults do with each other has nothing to do with me. So what business of it is mine to tell them they can't do it?
2, 10, 20, as long as
Yeah.
they're all consenting
Yeah.
adults, I don't care.
Exactly.
Agreed. That brings up the next part, though, too, that comes up. And but before I get there, I wanted to... Yeah, well, let me do that first so I don't forget it. Is children, right? So it is the community's job to protect children, for sure. But not at the expense of your religion or your misunderstanding of something. So, for example, I personally don't believe you should keep the discussions of sexuality and stuff away from children. I think they're perfectly capable of understanding it in appropriate ways.
Yep, and we don't.
Yeah, and it's just like when you have a conversation with children about sexuality and orientation, which I hate that phrase too, but all of that stuff, it is you, not you personally, whoever's out there, but you'll know the person I'm talking about. That is the person that has the problem because you are the one sexualizing that conversation. Sexuality does not have to be about sex.
No, and it can be perfectly, like when Sage was little and she was asking, because we have so many people who are not straight. Oh, they're together. I'm like, yeah, because they love each other. It can be completely age appropriate, nothing sexual at all until they're
100%.
in that stage of development where they can understand that stuff.
100%.
It's just two people who love each other.
Yeah.
That's all it has to be when they're really little, and it doesn't have to go beyond that until they're ready.
Yeah, and the thing is that I do believe that if you are a Christian person that feels that you should not have the conversation about sexuality with children, that is your right. I think you're doing them a disservice.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to pound into your life and say you must. But I'm also not going to, because I don't have to treat it. Don't have to teach it to my kids the same way. That's going to be a difference. Your child, unfortunately, will have a disadvantage because the world is going to advance with or without you. That's going to happen, for sure. But, and I guess the other side of that is really, with the teaching in schools and stuff, it is the community's responsibility to prepare children for being part of the community. And if you're using religion to decide things, that's a problem.
It's a big problem, especially seeing as it's not supposed to happen.
But if you use science, then the science shows that it is a good idea to have these conversations at certain ages. Sure, I don't think I'm going to sit down with a kid and say, two boys have sex this way. That's not been taught in the schools.
We actually did get that in high school health class.
In high school, maybe. I can see it. Well, they are kids too, I guess. Yeah, but I was thinking.
But we were 17, 18. It wasn't. But other countries,
Age appropriate.
other countries start this stuff in preschool. Always age appropriate and don't have the kind of massive issues we have here.
I think the problem that we run into mostly, and this is just my personal opinion, is that the United States is a very young country. People don't realize that. And we are very upset about our independence being... We are the teenagers of the world right now.
Oh, we've had that conversation many a time.
We're the teenagers. We're rebelling against our parents, but we're going to become them.
I like the one thing I seen that said, the United States rebelled from England and left home early, and that's why we have all these problems. And Canada stayed until it was an adult, so they're good.
That does make sense. Yeah, and Melissa, that's a big point for me. You shouldn't, if it doesn't affect your life, you shouldn't care what someone else's does. The thing about, and I hear you, your issue with parents allowing children to take hormone blockers and such until they are mentally capable of understanding long-term effects. They do understand the long-term effects. The long-term effects is that nobody reaches the age where they can have the long-term effects because a rate of suicide is 50 times higher in those children that don't get it. That should be, it's the same thing with elderly. We run into a lot with elderly and dementia patients. When they become demented, they don't make good cognitive decisions, but we tend to forget that they're still a human being with autonomy. They just make their needs known differently. Unfortunately, if you can't just say it's up to the parents either, because parents do abuse their kids.
They do.
They kill their kids sometimes.
A lot.
Yeah, that happens.
Drive their kids to suicide.
So in that vacant spot, we can have our opinion that, and I will rephrase for you what I would think would make me feel good. Not that you ever have to do that on purpose. I'm just saying, I'm going to rephrase your statement. I don't have an issue with parents allowing them to take hormone blockers for their kids, but I wouldn't do it for mine until they were 18. That's a fair statement. But I'm not going to tell Dragon Dancer, I'm going to turn you in for abuse if you allowed your child to have hormone blockers, because I will tell you, the people that I have met and known that have done it as an adult, they have all benefited from it. And some of them have, it's like I wish I wouldn't have, but it's still part of their life.
Like, and that number is so low.
Yeah, it's so
low. It's like what, like 0.1% or something.
And it is important that they do the things that they can do and have some kind of autonomy. I don't have kids, so I can't speak to it, but I do feel like if my kid came to me in the beginning and said, I need hormones, this is what's happening, I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for that yet, and you're my child, but we need to have more conversation because it's on the table.
You have to go through like therapy and all that stuff before they'll even approve that at all anyway. And the hormone stuff is generally fully reversible. I mean, there's rare cases where it's not, but generally if they change their minds, you're good later on. It's this once you get into the surgery that there's problems, and nobody does that on children.
Yeah, no, truly. And then when they talk about like, well, what are the long-term effects for those that don't commit suicide? It's usually really good, and there's studies on that support that. But those that it doesn't do well for because they didn't get it, don't make it. And Ivan Jr., I'm not 100% sure based on latency and after all the internet going out what you're specifically talking about, but it sounds like I like what you're saying, but I can't tell. Because I don't remember what it's in reference to specifically. I definitely wouldn't make that change myself either. You know, hell, for the first from the age of 18 to 30, and Melissa, you know this too. People would come at me and make fun of me and call me names and do stuff to me. I think if I didn't have the friends that I had to support me, I would have probably. I mean, I did try, but I wouldn't be around.
I mean, that's the big thing. The supportive community is so important for people who are in the,
that's the
LGBTQ community.
The pride in the parent part. And that's the
supportive
thing.
parents are the big thing, too.
It does, in some cases, to me, make a little bit of sense because we have a lot of peer-reviewed support that is evidence that cigarettes will kill you and likely cause cancer, and we have peer-reviewed evidence that hormones do actually cause a much improved quality of life. Sure, there's always going to be a case of it when it doesn't work out that way, but that's one of the differences. Yeah. Although I do agree, it's hard because I want to say it's up to the parents, but then I've seen parents be really shitty to their kids. You know?
And again, they just don't hand out hormone blockers and then hormone treatment like candy. You
It
have
is
to go
so
through a lot of therapy and sometimes, living as the gender you want to live before they'll even give you anything. It's not like you just go to the doctor and say, hey, I want some puberty blockers and some testosterone, and they give it to you.
Yeah.
That's actually another reason why I like the Rick Riordan book, because the gender fluid character actually got kicked out of their house for being gender fluid and was living homeless.
And that is such a common story.
It is.
And I think that, we can't protect every kid from their own parents, but we can set an example that says, hey, parents, there are resources, there's availability. Now, in Florida, where we have blocked
it's so hard now.
Yeah, you can't even have the discussion. People who are in therapy are afraid to talk to their therapist because they, if they're underage, 17-year-old, you're going
to lose your kids for trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, you'll lose your kids for trying to do the right thing.
And again,
because somebody else decided it was the right thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those, they want to put your trans or gay kid in a Pray the Gay Away camp.
Yeah.
That don't work.
It just makes them want to kill themselves.
Yeah. And for those that it does work with, then it's those things. That's what they use. People generally will use to kind of combat that conversation. Oh well, I prayed it away and it went away. I'm like, no,
it didn't.
No,
you're suppressing.
You're either suppressing or you were able to remove the sexual need and are able to. Fine, some people can do that. Nuns exist, and it doesn't have anything to do with being gay. It has to do with your ability to suppress your sexual feeling.
I don't know how well they're suppressing that though. Really,
probably not.
Pretty sure convents are just full of lesbians.
Yeah. And we all know about the Catholic Church, so.
And the fact that the priests used to run the brothels with the nuns, so I don't think they're suppressing very well.
Or it's human. I think the big thing for me with the parental piece of it is not all parents are going to do the best for their kids.
They're not.
Many, and most, I would think, are trying to do the right things, even when they're doing the wrong things. They think they're doing the right thing. And what sucks about it is if you ask most, and I don't know a whole, trains of transsexual people, but the transsexual people that I do know successfully transitioning have all said that they're, not all, many of them as adults, my mom came back around and says she's sorry and we made up and she wishes she would have been there for me, and she wasn't. That's the story. That's always the story. I wish I would have, but I didn't. I was like, well, because you think you know, and it's all about trying to be right. DeSantis feels like he's right. It's right. It's protecting the children, and it is not.
And nothing he's doing is protecting anybody but himself, and it's
Yeah.
not even working for him very well.
Pretty much.
So gender fluid is a completely different thing, and it's also completely different than non-binary. I'm not an expert on any of these things. They're just my assumptions and things that I've learned. There's a fiction book, actually. I think it's called 2023 or 2032. I don't know, but it's I like the space novels, space opera things. And everybody's gender fluid in that group because it is what it is. But I think gender fluid as opposed to non-binary is more of you really have to separate what you believe gender is, because it's not. What you've been thinking gender is all your life has been sex. That's why it says on your application sex, male or female. It never says gender. Well, I guess some do, but it's pretty rare.
Say I've seen it.
Majority of them, especially if they're like pre-2000, say sex. And it's male or female, and that's XX or XY chromosome, but even that doesn't make male or female, by the way.
Nope. And there's more than XX and XY.
There's XXX, XXY, there's Y. Well, you can't have just Y.
You can have just X, though.
Yeah, you can have just X. But just Y,
you'd be dead.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
work.
saw an M1.
You saw an M once?
That's hilarious. But gender fluid, again, we're talking about gender, male and female presentation, social construct. Gender fluid literally means I will present myself however the fuck I feel whenever the fuck I feel it.
Yep.
It is.
And it could be 364 days I present societally as a male, and maybe that's how I wear my hair, how I do things, what I wear, my personal isms and things that I do. And then on that 365th day, I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling very feminine today. I'm going to go out and wear a dress and heels. And that's just one example. That's not what it actually is, but that's the example because we're talking about gender. We're not talking about sex. And that's so confusing, I think, for a lot of conversations.
It really is.
Yeah. Because that's, I don't think I know anybody, I don't personally know anybody who is transgender and gender fluid. Most people I know that are transsexual have felt like the opposite sex and have transitioned.
I don't know anybody either. If you're transgender, it's generally I want to be the opposite. Gender fluid is I will be whatever I want on any day that I please.
Yeah.
Or even any minute that I please.
Yeah. And I kind of see non-binary as the very similar but more on the negative space of not I will do whatever I want whenever I want, but more of don't you dare try to label me. I am exactly what I am. I'm neither.
And a lot of people actually do both non-binary and gender fluid.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting crossover too.
Yeah, and I think the key part of it is it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Like I don't understand it very much either because I'm not it, but I also don't understand being a dog, and I'm not a dog, which pisses me off, and I use that on purpose.
I want to be a tree.
Yeah, when people's like, well, I identify as a 1967 Chevy.
I identify as broken toaster. My pronouns are bzz and the smell of burnt toast.
I don't think a smell can be a pronoun. Just saying.
Sure it can. That's that is the language of my people.
Lord have
and you
mercy.
have to accept it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, broken toaster, go get in the kitchen.
Yeah, I love it. But that's an important point. Like when people say like we identify as it, it's not the fact that you're saying it; it's you're mocking it now because we know we're getting into assholery situations, right? You're being a jerk. Not you. That was funny because we're talking about the topic.
Well,
but like if I came to you and said, I'm non-binary, it's like, well, and I identify as a female, and you say, well, I identify as a toaster, I'd be upset. But not in a conversation about,
But I use that example when people are talking about, in an asshole type manner. Mm-hmm. And I go, yeah, I identify as broken toaster.
Like the ones who are, I identify as an Apache attack helicopter.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so you're useless. You can only be controlled by like one person, and you break down every 5 minutes. It sounds
which is really gay because it's probably another male in most cases.
95% of the time, yeah.
But that underscores the whole thing, right? It's not that it doesn't matter; it's that it shouldn't matter. But it does matter because we all make it matter. So in the space of that, just be like, ask them, hey, I'm not familiar with non-binary. What does it matter? Like, why is it so big of a deal and so effective to be worried about that and have to have an opinion on it? Like, and it's, yeah.
Again, I'm not non-binary or gender fluid. You know, if you're non-binary or gender fluid,
Hold on 1 second.
something's exploding.
This dumb fish. Hey, you gotta go.
Is he trying to jump out?
No, I guess he wants his back scratched so he gets in the grate and then it blocks it up and the tank will overflow.
Oh.
He blocks up the exit. Sorry. First time that's happened on screen.
But again, you're not me. I'm not you. I don't know what you're going through or how you feel, but I also know that it doesn't affect me. So,
Why?
exactly.
Yeah, and no, I know you enough, Melissa, to know that it's not specific to you, just in the general conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really important piece.
But
What you just
again, I use the broken toaster analogy to show people just how stupid they're being in a hilarious way.
I can't reach you or I would pick you up, little one.
Iris.
Can you grab the door?
I can fail. I got this hand.
So
I don't want to scruff her like a carrot.
it brings me to the last piece of that specific topic, which is opinions. And so when we talk about everybody has the right to have an opinion, they do. And you know, it's nice to ask questions and understand stuff and try to figure it out. But I think what bothers me is when your opinion of something actually can cause harm to somebody.
At that point, just keep your damned opinion to yourself.
Yep.
Or instead, maybe the right thing to do is ask a question and try to learn and try to let people live and approach life with a curiosity instead of a judgment. You know?
See, my
You know,
problem
your
is I
ears
hate
and
when
my
people
eyeball.
ask me questions.
She doesn't care.
I hate when people ask me questions because, again, my ADHD, I have a hard time verbalizing. So people ask me questions about my religion because I am openly pagan. And I just I freeze up. I got all the knowledge in my head, but for some reason, as soon as I feel like somebody's being confrontational with me, verbally, I freeze
Make you a
up.
pamphlet so you
Especially
can
with
hand it to 'em.
religion.
Yeah,
Yeah, because people have so many judgments about it, you
Yep.
never know which one you're going to get.
yeah.
And I will say, like, I've gotten some really good responses one-on-one with people who identify as Christian. But when there's two of them, never, I lose every time. Well, how can you not believe in God? Like, I actually believe in your God more than you do. I just
Yeah.
believe he's in everything, and I perceive it differently.
Or in my case, I believe in your God as much as you do, and I just refuse to give him any of my power.
Yeah. I don't want to let something exterior be the control and the light of my life. I'm the light of my life, like I direct it. That's selfish, and that's how I feel.
But again, it's that when it comes to fists, I'll throw fists any day. When it comes to words, I just I freeze up.
Yeah.
And nothing actually gives me more of a adrenaline high than when I actually find the words I'm looking for and put somebody in their place
Yeah.
verbally.
I often do that in my head, and I never actually get it out
Yep.
because
I do it in my head like 10 years
I
later.
was gonna say many days after the issue took place.
I do it pretty quick. Like I can pretty quickly come up with some good stuff. I just at over 40, I just don't care to engage it anymore. Like it's just like, look, you're gonna be who
That's
you
the other
are.
thing, too,
Whether
is-
whether it's about pride or gay or pagan or what stuff. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
Yep.
I'm not gonna
That's the
change
other
that.
thing too is I'm 40. I don't care what you think about me anymore. I've lived
Yep.
my entire life not caring what anybody thinks of me.
I mean, if people have a genuine curiosity in question,
Oh, yeah.
I'll take my time to answer. But if
Oh,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
obviously being a belligerent asshole, I'm
Yep.
just gonna be like, you know what? No, bye.
It's like the state's being a belligerent asshole.
Unless I'm in a mood, and then you're gonna get more than you probably wanted.
Like the one time I accidentally converted somebody to heathenism.
Hey,
It was completely by accident. he come walking up to me and, oh, I heard you're a heathen, and started asking legitimate questions, like curiosity questions.
Yeah.
And he started talking about his religion,
I'm covered
which
in
he
my
was.
phone.
He actually grew up Catholic, so I converted to Catholic by accident.
Just good.
That's a good thing. Uh-oh, shit. Okay, it worked.
But
That's funny. I don't know if you can accidentally convert somebody, but I think that's awesome.
but yeah,
That's power.
The next day after, he comes in wearing the Thor's hammer on his. Oh yeah, I can. After our conversation, I started doing my own research and I started looking into it, and I'm heathen now.
And many people do when you get into that first thing or conversation. Like this feels like that's how I felt and it didn't happen with like Wicca when I was younger, but I think as an adult getting into like some of the Germanic and Carnunus and some of the British stuff, I literally like this feels right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Wicca's a good stepping stone.
That's where a lot of us started back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, it's the first place that accepts you, but it's also the first place that judges you.
Yep.
In paganism.
Because on top of that, outside of Christianity,
Hey, Kayla.
Wicca's, you can find anything on Wicca. Yeah. Anywhere.
And it's an individually recognized religion in the United States. So.
Yeah. But it's a good stepping. It was a good stepping stone in the 80s and 90s because you go into
That's all there was.
Yeah. You go into a bookstore or library.
Satanic panic too.
You go into a bookstore or library, and the only books you can find on religion are Christianity, and then a little teeny tiny little section on Wicca.
There was usually some Buddhism too.
Every other book in that freaking aisle is the Holy Bible or Christian this or.
I always felt good with the Wiccan stuff, and until it started feeling like Christianity. Just at sometimes.
There's way too much.
I still think there's some value in it for people if they want to do it. Like I have nothing against it, but it's just it went too dogma to me. It went too.
My problem with Wicca is I'm what I like to call a natural blood magician. I use blood magic, and I just was drawn to it right away. And
no, don't do that in Wicca.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I told a fellow Wiccan at the time, I practiced blood magic.
Blasphemy! You can't do that. You will open the portals of hell.
There's no such thing as blood magic.
All right.
No. What I always got was there's no such thing as blood magic.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, and I also practice dark magic. Or shadow magic.
There's the blasphemy right there.
Yeah. I also practice dark magic.
You have to be a lovely knight and a fluffy bunny.
Yeah. Well, that's assumption. All based on assumptions too. When you say dark magic, people immediately say, "Oh, you're sacrificing children."
Look at all the children I've sacrificed.
Yeah. And look at all the sacrifices done in the name of Christianity.
Yeah.
Oh, I love when I first, my parents first found out I was a pagan. They're like, oh, one of our cats had passed away. Like, you sacrificed it because you're. I'm like, no, I did not. We don't know.
And so don't forget, Melvin has made a lot of really good points. I like how you have opinions and to keep them to yourself and Sweet Pea. Although it's good to hear opinions at times, because sometimes opinions help shape and change. Like my opinions change a lot. Definitely now more than ever.
That's the thing too. It's the people whose opinions never change.
I mean,
I usually have problems.
I was one of those gays in my late teens, early 20s where they were not part of the rainbow for me. Like I was bad. Until somebody literally called me on my shit. It's like, you do realize you are exactly what you were running from, right? And just lost some friends over it.
That's been a big problem in the gay community in general is, if you're bi, you're not gay enough. If you're trans, you're not gay enough. If you're whatever, you're not gay enough. It's like you realize that these people make up the majority of your community, right?
Yep. And I don't want to say like everybody's bisexual, but I bet a lot more people, if there were less stigma, wouldn't care as much about it. Maybe you'd still have a preference. You'd still probably gravitate.
No, like I've met some people who are 99.9% for one gender, but there's that oddball instance where like, oh yeah, I'll go with that person.
Yeah. You stop worrying about that stuff. That's a different level.
Again, me, I'm one of those 99.9% straights, but
There
Who
could be
knows?
that one or
I
two guys
leave
out
myself up open for that possibility.
I've always said the same thing. Like, you know, although I traumatized myself of forcing myself to be with a woman in the beginning, you know, to try to prove that I wasn't. Then when I let that go, I went to a 10 on the Kinsey scale, 10.5. But that was again, that is not a human response. That is an emotional reaction. I think if everybody took the social construct out of it and it didn't have the stigma to it, people would not care.
there. See, that's me. I don't care.
Just wouldn't.
Of course.
Whatever.
I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, what sex you are, whatever you are, as long as you're not a freaking asshole, you know, it's all good.
Of course, all in the same shot. You know, I joke around with the guys at work. I don't care if she used to be a he, as long as she's a she now.
Mm-hmm. I don't care either way.
So many stipulations. Definitely some oddball gatekeepers in Wicca too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
I've seen
goodness.
gatekeeping everywhere though. Like that's
There really is. Like once
Wicca's
you
a little
get,
rougher.
Once you get established groups of any pathway, you start getting gatekeepers.
Yep.
Every time. Like heathenism is really, really
Yeah.
bad for it.
Oh yeah, there's been some pretty good news stories for that one.
Yeah, and the druids. I haven't seen as much, but I've definitely seen it. Wicca, of course, is horrible.
The druid gatekeeping I've seen is mostly like people saying you study druid but don't dare call yourself a druid. They get really offended for some reason. Like that's
Okay, but who are you to say that? Because you're not a druid by the ancient ways either, because
Yeah.
they're not there
Well, I would
anymore.
never call myself a druid. Okay, good. Congratulations.
Good for you. I'll
Move
call
on.
myself whatever the
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, unexplained possibilities. If you haven't, I don't know if you're interested in, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of The Expanse, but I'm enjoying that book, and it has a lot of stuff in it about like alien and thought that has really changed my mind recently about what things are. It's really kind of uplifted, or not uplifted, but altered my my mentality on aliens and what is potentially out there is more than we can ever imagine. But I think we've talked about this before. I think you've mentioned it before. I think half the aliens lock their doors when they drive by. I think the other half are like looking at us with a magnifying glass and go, "Oh God, these freaking idiots! Look at them. They're so stupid. They're gonna blow each other up." Which we will eventually.
Oh God, I hope so.
Well, yes. I was gonna bring back the whole infection thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna. The infection will heal the earth, and we will.
I mean, the animals are already starting their uprising, so let's see how that
be
goes.
gone. It's insanity.
I'm
Well.
on Team Orca.
Teamwork.
Oh, the orcas are recruiting other species now, so I'm on Team Ocean Life.
Well, like I feel like it's gonna be more like The Last of Us. It's gonna be a neural network of fungus across the entire world because it's already there, and it's already sentient. It's just waiting for the right time. But we've now proven that plants can see. They have photoreceptors. They have the same DNA blocks that we have they can see you looking at them. They know when you're shading them. They know when you're around. They can communicate with each other through neural networks underground, and they are shaped like freaking dendrites of neuron cells. We are not alone.
Oh no, and I love when I tell like vegans and vegetarians that the plants they're eating feel
They
pain
scream.
too, and they're like, no, they don't. They have no brain. I'm like, they don't have a brain you recognize.
Yep.
That doesn't mean they don't have a brain.
They scream. They've been documented screaming. Does that mean that? And I know this is the same thing with animals. Does it mean you can't eat them? No, we have a place in this part of the life that we
Every
live.
single thing on the planet has to feed off the death of something else
Yep.
to live. Every single
Yep.
thing. Even the plants have to feed off the decayed matter of
And
other
the
plants.
dirt,
and
yep.
In order for you to live, something else must die.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, the plants just eat sunlight. Well, yeah, but no, because they also need decayed organic matter
Yep.
through the roots. They can't just eat the sun; they will die.
Yeah. Kayla, that's a good
son.
point too. I love Team Demon. It's funny. Love Florida, but the one gripe was that every time I met a pagan, they would shun me for my beliefs, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
But we're terrible with that. My big thing is the social piece of it. I want to stay for every other reason, but the social aspect of Florida is it's hurtful, and it's a core value that's hard to suck down.
Yep.
but I also don't want to leave because then it will never ever change. I think it's going to get better at some point, but not in our lifetime. I think it's going to be like at the end of our lifetime.
I think that Florida's going to be underwater by the end of our lifetime.
I do
so
think
it ain't
that
going to
too.
matter. So
That'll make it better.
that'll make it better.
Said the same thing. Yep. But the idea really is, yeah, it's. I hate the phrase "live and let live." Even though I believe that you should live and let live,
The
but
problem
it's
with that phrase is that only one side of the
it's
equation
siloed.
follows
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah.
siloed. It's I don't know. I can't. Like the
Yeah.
whole. I just have so
I'm
many
more
thoughts.
with the Beatles on that one of Live and Let Die.
Was that the Beatles?
Yes. Live and Let Die was the
Excuse me.
Beatles.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's one of my favorite Beatles songs because of how messed up it is.
I mean, I know the song about things. I don't keep up with it, but
Well, Tina, you're such a good puppy.
that's awesome.
What I miss?
Kayla's talking about artwork.
Oh.
Artwork. So I need to read back that book too. So I think the conversation for me really about is like I wanted to share the last piece, which was kind of how my dad reacted when I came out. He was confused. He did not know how to react or what to say or what to do, and just couldn't really get anything out, which was better than the alternative.
I was gonna say.
My grandmother
Could've
reacted
been much worse.
My grandmother, who was the mom in the house, did not react well at all. Like to the point where I had to get out. Rain's picking up, and so is the lightning. We might lose power again, just for the record. But yeah, I saw that with a different press. I saw that. I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
See, I love it. I love it when I'm at work. When I first started at the company I'm at, and the Christians, because again, open pagan, and anytime something went wrong with their lives, oh, did you curse me? And I always devastated them with the in order to curse you, I have to put forth effort, and I have to actually think about you, and have such negative emotions towards you that I would want to curse you. But once I clock out and leave that gate, I don't even think about you enough.
Yeah.
You disappear once I go out that gate.
That's how it should be. Like my job, you can't. Like I get spend so much time with people. I'm not out pagan at work, but I'm not out. Like I just, if somebody asks me, I will tell them. But nobody asks because they're smart. It's come up before. We had an issue and I actually discussed it where somebody made an accusation that was accurate, and I spoke to it and I said, yeah, that is true, but number one, none of your effing business.
Right.
If you want to talk about it, you better come and ask me and not talk to other people about it. So let's talk. If that's a problem for you, that you know that, oh my God, he's a pagan, you can't work here or be part of this anymore.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Well, not only is that illegal, but it just shows your lack of abilities too. Because you can ask me and I'll talk to you about it, and you will realize that we're probably not near as different as it seems. I'm hoping that was your daughter. I just want to make sure it's not a dog. Yes, it is. I didn't make, because BG has been getting into everything.
She's over here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I blame her for everything too, but it's not her fault.
She's laying at the feet. Just calm down.
Yeah,
Ugh.
laying at my feet,
Yeah,
being a fluffer pup.
that is too fun.
You are a sweet little dog.
Isn't it always left-hand path though? Like, isn't it?
It's the crooked path. I go wherever I want.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Do a little right hand today, a little left hand tomorrow.
And again, me as the warrior guardian type, I actually have to
in the
use both
nostril,
paths.
really.
Yeah,
You can't fight the dark unless you understand it,
yeah.
I don't want to fight the dark. I want to cuddle with it.
and all in the same shot. Too much light can also be a bad thing.
Burn
Yeah.
your freaking eyeballs out.
But I think the grand closing is it hits past 12. To me, or my I guess final thoughts. If you are a parent and we're probably preaching to the choir because everybody I think probably is on a similar thought. But if you're a parent, don't react to what your child does when they tell you something with honesty.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta listen, and not, because what you do next is could determine whether they live or die.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
unfortunately,
outside of that, whether you have a relationship with them when they're an adult, if they do survive whatever you do.
yeah.
Or in
And
other words, don't be a jerk.
don't be a jerk. And if you don't understand something, don't come at it with judgment. Come at it with curiosity.
Mhm.
Ask, and ask about it, and you're going to get 10 different responses from 10 different people. The same with being pagan. Like, you will not get the same answer from the three of us if you ask us the same question. It's not even Brad. We will have different answers. But the one thing I think we probably would all say is that we attempt to do our best to respect nature as fully as possible, and people when they. I don't want to say when they deserve it, but when
As long as they are respectful
They're not
to
hurting.
me, I will reciprocate.
yeah,
In
Pretty much.
kind.
I mean, me personally, I hate everybody till I get to know them.
yeah.
But see, at least you're hating equally.
Yes. I hate equally because people just anger me.
People.
Yeah,
I prefer dogs, right?
dogs are pretty awesome.
Or cats.
I have to admit.
I prefer animals in general,
Yes.
even though birds hate me.
So, yeah, happy Pride Month. Thanks for coming. It's been fun. I'm going to do tarot, I think. I don't know if you want to do tarot. We can grab a couple extra decks.
He doesn't do.
I don't do tarot.
But I will do
I'm
tarot.
terrible at tarot.
I mean, you can go Brad does, just rewrite the book, but that's up to you. It doesn't matter to me.
I'm horrible at
Um,
reading too, so.
I bet you could read tarot better than you think you can, but
Probably. But that's for a different day.
what is
Yeah.
that alarm? Okay. Okay.
What is that?
That's the fish tank saying the water went too high when
Oh.
it's mad because power goes out,
Mhm.
it fills up, and it says, "Oh, I'm overfilled," and then power goes out, sucks it all down, says, "Oh, I'm too low." It pumps all the water in from the extra tank, and now it's too high again because it pumped the extra water in, because it wouldn't wait 10 seconds.
Yep.
Silly
Right.
fish tank.
Silly fish tank. What kind of tarot or oracle?
Something nature based.
I've got lots of that.
Just pick a nice one, because you have so many I don't even know.
Oh, Tina, give it a few minutes.
I don't know, that gay tarot, what was it, last week was pretty good?
Your dogs help me with making it.
You can use the gay tarot.
No. Again, I don't tarot.
Yeah, I let the chihuahua choose like the obstacles and the song, and then I don't
Tina. Or no, you're not Tina, you're Iris. I'm forgetting dog names. Tina's locked up. You're gonna fall off my arm, little girl.
Something in nature. I've got Wendy. Oh, this is a good one. Let's do that one. I don't know if it has a book though.
The fish alarm. It lets you know your fish are drowning.
Ooh, plant spirit oracle. Yes. With ghost pipes on the front.
Is that what those are?
It is.
I have no clue. This thing came with a book. Like, it's a huge compendium. It's so pretty. I don't know if it has a book in it or not.
Here, you gotta hold the dog.
All right, so we're gonna do tarot.
It does not have a book in it.
Kayla, if you don't put a question in, you will get a general. I think we should just do generals anyway. It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
We're just gonna do generals today. I'm gonna use the Fantastical Creatures Tarot.
Ooh.
I
You
know.
know where to find them?
I didn't get the where to find them part, but it says they're fantastic.
Find them anywhere if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
Horses, definitely. I can see that for sure.
Monkey? There's monkeys in Florida. We can find them.
They're not finger monkeys.
They might be.
I'm not gonna ask. I don't know if they're monkey.
It's a little tiny monkey that a lot of people keep as pets. It's only like 8 inches long, including tail fully grown.
Well, that's cute. Finger monkey.
It's a finger monkey.
She won't let me have a finger monkey.
They're like $3,000
And we got a $4,000 cat.
for free.
So you can have a finger monkey if somebody gives it to him.
Yeah.
See?
You know, work that out. That's the next step.
Just like
Alright.
I get my Mastiff if somebody gives it to me, and that's the only way I'm getting a Mastiff. Oh my god, I'm covered in hair.
Yes, you are. Mostly BGs.
This is
Morning Star, hello. I'm sorry I didn't see your message earlier, but hello. Astrological figure? I'm not sure. Probably all of them, I would assume, when it comes down to if you're looking specifically at planets and astral bodies, or not astral, celestial bodies. She looks so happy.
She's
She's
getting
chilling.
held by all the people.
So we've got Kayla,
Oh, I got dog hair on my nose.
followed up by Tabby, and then Unexplained. Kayla, Tabby, Unexplained. So we're just gonna pull some cards here.
I have dog hair up my nose and all over me.
You're well.
I'm furry. I'm a furry today. Covered in fur.
Honorary.
Honorary furry.
See what we get. Hopefully the power will stay on. Well, it looks like it's sunny on one half of the house now.
Yeah, it's clearing up a little out there.
Brightening up.
Yeah, it's
For
not
the
raining anymore.
moment, anyway. We know how that goes in Florida.
Mm,
I love it when it rains in my front yard and not in my back, or vice versa.
Alright, Fantastical Creatures Tarot. Kayla, your card is for me is the Star. So the Star has a couple of representations. Oh, let me turn a little camera on. It's right behind your coffee cup. So if you center the card on the hand of Fatima,
That one.
yeah, thank you. It'll show perfectly, I think. There it goes, yeah. So the Star is a major arcana card in the traditional tarot that represents guidance, but the thing is this guidance that you are giving or receiving? And Kayla, this to me is guidance you are giving. I'm feeling definitely an outward energy from this card for you. Somebody is getting guidance from you, whether you know it or not, and you need to make sure that you are sustained on that, and that you are holding things in a straight way for yourself, so that other people can grow from it. So there's something you're doing. I don't know what it is. What would be something the Star would probably do? I don't know. Maybe meeting a new person that you recognize as needing some guidance, and you're willing to give them that guidance. And it's not like true mentorship where you're like taking somebody under your wing, but it's more like giving them nudges to be better at something that they want to be better at. And so that person is around you, and you are that guidance for them. So kind of pay attention to the people that are around you and see who's looking for a little bit of light for you to give them. And I don't mean light like light. I mean light like a flashlight to give them some direction on something. Whether that's deeper into the occult, whether that's a new way to do something, a new process, a new artwork even. I don't know. I know you do art. That poor guy. Our neighbor. He's had a rough time. But yeah, something where you are definitely giving off a guidance to others within something, and pay attention to that though, because they're going to be around you and they're going to be looking for you to give them something. It is, to me, it's of a spiritual nature, of a, I don't want to say personal, but it's more of a personal thing that they need help from you, and it's really recent and current. Excuse me.
This doesn't have a book, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Go for it.
Alright, so I got for you the Yarrow card and the Plant Oracle, and it says on it invisibility, hiding, and discretion. But yarrow is also a big healing herb, and I feel that this has to do with possibly you're taking some time for yourself to do some like deep healing work, not in the public eye, and just taking like maybe a little retreat, even if it's just at your house, for yourself to go into some healing work you need to do. But that's the feeling I get from it anyway.
Makes sense. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of goodness and positive attraction. And thank you. Yeah, we're going to keep them short today so I don't lose power again.
Right, because it's clear-ish right now.
Yeah, but even over here it's clearing up, but you can still see
Yeah.
clouds over there, like on that side.
It's starting to rain out there again. I'm seeing drips.
You
in the
sure
puddle.
is. Huh. Lord of mercy, Florida. Florida needs some antipsychotics.
I had antipsychotics once. They did not do well for me. At all.
Tabby, you are next. Tabby like the cat.
Tabby!
Tabby. Oh, this is a good one. Tabby got the Ace of Cups. You know, throw that over there for me when you get a second. Thank you. We need a better system. That's cute. You know, that is the gift card that comes on this if you bought one of the first 50 decks. That was the extra card.
Nice.
So it's awesome. But yeah, for me, you got Ace of Cups. And Ace of Cups is all about, as we tend to say, aces are new beginnings, Tabby. So, but don't think of it in new beginnings as like this big, oh my God, there's this huge new beginning. It's not. It's a very small representation of something that's going to eventually blossom. So it's the seed of emotion. Something is being planted right now that's going to give you some great growth in the near future. Maybe it's what's the next card. And if you're planting that, maybe that's where it's going to go. But regardless, it's all about planting that energy that's going to give you some emotional guidance and something that's going to draw you forward and move you into something that's going to give you really good positive outcomes. So something's been bothering you or something's been tough, something's been kind of weighing on you emotionally. This is the moment right now you're coming into some energy that's going to actually plant a new seed to get some new, fresh ideas and some real positivity coming your way from that emotional standpoint. So I love the aces. They represent everything in that element, everything in the element of water. So think of going out and dancing in the rain. Think, well, not when it's lightninging.
No.
Think about it like being in the pool surrounded by water. Think of how the earth cradles water and directs water and how water can carve out paths within the earth. And that's where you get the ace. This is this new project is going to be carved out for you to flow, and flow is going to come. Just meow.
Alright, well,
Speaking
Tabby,
of,
for you, I got catnip. So, meow. There's your
Meow.
kitties. And the card says opposites, separation, and contrast. But catnip for people is a calming herb. So maybe you need to just bring things down a little and look at what's going on in your life right now, what you want to separate from, and what you want to continue to build and plant and grow with. You know, have a little catnip tea if you need to.
the next time there's some catnip in your house for the cats, you guys got to
Yep.
snort some, or do you burn it? What'd you do? Burn it?
You
cook
can
it?
smoke it or you can make it into a tea.
Oh.
But I recommend tea. And have a little calm time with the kitties and have some thought about what you want to grow with and what you want to let go.
That's cute. I love it. Unexplained possibilities. You are the last one that we have on the list. If there's anybody else who'd like to join in, just add now.
There was somebody else I seen that wanted. Melissa. Your sister. She said
Oh,
she
did she?
wanted one too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that one. Okay, good. Glad. Melissa, of course. That's my sister. Terrible person.
All right, who
I've
are
been
we doing
called
now?
worse.
So Dad
This would be unexplained
Yeah.
possibilities.
And he had a jumper, so we're going with that.
You can go first if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Alright, unexplained possibilities. You had a jumper. You got land within, without, so as above, so below, balance between spirits and matter. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be working on keeping yourself in the balance.
That's a pretty card.
It is a
Very
pretty card.
labyrinthine. It's an eyeball.
It
I
is
was
an
gonna say,
eyeball.
It looks like an eyeball.
It is an eyeball. Use your perceptions.
The Emperor. So unexplained, you need to tap into your Emperor energy and take control of something, but do it in an organized fashion. It really is raining again and dark again.
Yep.
But the Emperor is very organized. The Emperor is the one that makes the decisions in chess, right? That makes that moves the chess pieces, I should say, on the battlefield and whatnot. But it's not just about wartime. It's about all the time in between, too. Make sure all of the subjects are fed. Make sure that there's paths and things that are spread around for the community and or village of which the Emperor is over. And so the Emperor shows up when it's time for you to make some of those choices of organizing things in a specific way to feed the village, so to speak, whether it's just you or something much larger. But that's what it wants you to do. It wants you to tap into that energy, make some plans, get a strategy, and then execute some of that strategy to make sure that you got things organized in a way that it needs to be.
Who are we executing now?
For some reason, every time you keep saying Emperor, I just keep going to Star Wars.
Hey, I mean, there's some good examples in that too, I'm sure.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah. I'm glad you clarified that, Kayla, because I was going to ask, but I was going to wait a minute because I'm not sure what the Doctor channel was. But yes, I probably will open the Discord for a little bit because Rook should be back by right at the time we end. So.
Oh, we only got one person left.
Throwing that back. Oh, is it just one? Oh, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's Melissa's turn.
I had jumper for her too.
I love that deck. It's so pretty. I need to find the book for it too, like I said, so you can see the book. But it's a big hardcover book. I had to buy it separate. Sweet, kind of, sir.
The man of 1,000 decks.
How many decks do you have now?
I just stopped counting at 350.
So like 500.
Probably not that many. Probably 400.
I have like 20.
It's bad. It's bad. And you know what's funny is you must have every deck. I'm like, no, there's lots of decks that don't make the cut.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton that don't. What's interesting is I'll look at a deck, I'm like, this is terrible, ugly, I hate it, won't touch it. And then like a month later, I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. Where has it been all my life?
And
Then I buy it.
then a month after that, it shows up in the mail, and you're like, where the hell did this come
That's
from?
happened a lot with Kickstarters. Like, I don't even remember what this one's supposed to be. And then I have one that came and didn't have a name. So I don't even know what it is. But it's really pretty.
Almost deck.
It's pretty. I googled
no
one. Let's find out.
I am no man.
All right, Melissa. 2 of Wands.
Oh, birdies.
2 of Wands is actually, it's not, I don't want to call it a warning card, but it's just a little bit of a, things are going well overall. There's a good balance, there's a good stability, so be careful not to ask or push for too much in a certain thing, because if you do, it could potentially give you more than you're ready for. The 2 of Wands is, most of the 2s are, for me, which is weird, 3s are pairing cards. I think we've talked about in the past, because the first, in a 2, let me go back. In an ace, if you're talking about people, you exist. In the 2s, you recognize you exist. And then in the 3s, you get your first partner. That's making me nervous.
What? You exist.
You exist.
Are you sure?
Well, that is a good point. That's not always true. No, it was accurate.
Existential
It's
crisis.
very existential, yes. But like, the 2 is where you first recognize that there's an external existence for you, and it wants to remind you that there's a passion project, there's something that you're really pushing for, and it's still good. It's a good idea, but don't overdo it. Don't push it so hard that it just blows out on the other side. What's a good analogy for this? When you are building an engine in a car, and you want to turbocharge the car, you select the right size turbo for the car. You don't just go get the biggest one or the smallest one. You get the right one. So just make sure that you're looking at getting the right pieces for what it is you're trying to do, and not trying to make something fit when it doesn't.
That redneck's doing NASCAR.
True.
Alright, so that actually fits really well with what I got. Alright, so his card actually fits really well with this. I pulled Mugwort, which says dreams, fantasies, and delusions. And Mugwort is also, as you can see from the picture here of the woman, like an herb of like divine feminine power. But what I'm getting from this is, like he was saying, don't be chasing your dreams so hard that you go overboard and they turn into delusions. Work on them, in the right fashion, and they'll probably happen. But if you push too hard, you're going to go too far.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Well, I think that's it for today. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Hope you got something out of it. Thanks for staying until the end. Thanks for staying through the storm. We are going to hop on the Discord afterwards, or let me rephrase. Actually, we're going to open the Discord. So if for a quick after show, that way when Rook gets here, we can have a little bit of conversation, which he should be here any minute. I'm going to pull the link real quick. So this is free Discord if you don't have it. You can download it on your phone, most tablets, computer, PC, whatever. You do need to install it, but this is the link to our channel if you don't have it already.
I still don't have Discord.
And we are going to be hopping in there to have an after discussion if you want. So we would like to see you guys there to watch us piddle about in the house for a few minutes before everybody before Rook gets home. So hop in, say hi. This is a good place to kind of have additional conversations. So yeah. Melissa, if you don't have Discord and you want to hop in, you should. We're in there all the time having conversations about all kinds of shit. But that is the link, again, on your phone. The app's really easy to download. It's not hard.
I managed it.
And then, of course, on computer, it's a lot easier, or iPad or whatever. So, with that, hope you have a great rest of your day. Great weekend, and we'll see you in a few minutes as we get the Discord open. Thanks again. Deuces.